What's up, guys? Today I'm going to share with you 5 tips that will amp up the flavor in your cooking. These tips are going to bring your skills to the next level. Let's dive right into tip number 1. Spices. We know to utilize spices when cooking, but the tip here is when to utilize them. Spices should always be added at the beginning of the cooking process, not after you've added your liquid or near the end. They've been sitting in a drawer dormant for however long. They need to be woken up a little bit. And the way to do that is by blooming, essentially letting them hang out in some hot oil. So for example, say you're making a chili, you have some chili powder and some cumin. Try adding them in the beginning with the hot oil, with the onions and the garlic, and let them hang out in there. Liven it up a little bit. You will extract so much more flavor. So, tip number 1, always add your spices in the beginning of the cooking process. Tip number 2, utilize your Parmesan cheese rinds. The rind from Parmesan cheese should be treated like gold. If you ever see anybody go to throw one of these away, stop them immediately or dig out of the trash for your own use. Adding a little bit of this rind to, say, a simmering soup or stock or sauce adds so much flavor. One of the reasons being, Parmesan is a natural source of glutamate, aka MSG, aka umami, aka totally delicious. So, tip number 2 is save your Parmesan cheese rinds. Step number 3, use fresh garlic. Anthony Bourdain said it best. Although harsh, I totally agree. Avoid jarred garlic. It's just not good. It's been pulverized to death. It's been sitting in water for a very long time. And it totally ruins the sweet, spicy, delicious flavor that we all love about garlic. So, use fresh. Now, there is certainly a time and a place for garlic powder, for a rub or whatever else, but more times than not, you really want to be using the fresh stuff. Now, something I didn't know that Anthony Bourdain said in his rant was you should really avoid using a garlic press. I definitely use my garlic press all the time, but apparently if you pulverize the garlic too much, it could bring out a little bit more bitterness and it can be a little too pungent. So ultimately, the best thing you want to do is either use a knife or a mandolin. Tip number 4, utilize fresh citrus. Have you ever tasted a dish and just thought, you know, it needs something? More times than not, it's just a good squeeze of fresh lemon or lime juice. Citrus is also really good at bringing out the flavors in other ingredients, just like salt is. It's also really great at balancing out really rich dishes. Think Alfredo or a risotto or a creamy soup. So bottom line is, keep citrus on hand and don't be afraid to add it to a dish if the recipe doesn't call for it. Use your instinct, taste your food. So, tip number 4, use fresh citrus. Tip number 5, use extra virgin olive oil, but not for cooking, for finishing your dishes. I'm talking about a nice drizzle of this on, say, roasted vegetables, an open-faced sandwich, pasta, salads, dips. You get the idea. The mistake is using this for high heat cooking. You see, extra virgin olive oil has a very low smoke point. So if you use it for that purpose, it's not gonna taste great. It's going to burn. So, tip number 5, use your extra virgin olive oil, but for the right purpose. Finish your dishes. All right, guys, I hope some of these cooking tips were helpful to you. If you have any of your own that I did not share, make sure to include them in the comment section for other people that